Hello, Adam Barralet here for the second part of our series 7 Chakras in 7 Days. Today we're going to be exploring the Sacral Chakra. Now, I'm going to show you, if you weren't watching yesterday, how to test your Sacral Chakra, but you need your pendulum. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about the Sacral Chakra for a second, but if you've got a pendulum somewhere nearby, then run and go get that now. So, what is the Sacral Chakra? It's the second of our energy centers moving up our spine. This one, our Sacral Chakra, is located just below our belly button. Now, what does this one govern? It governs the color orange, it resonates with the color orange, and it's to do with two things. Basically, our ability to receive pleasure and enjoy the everyday pleasures in life, and also our ability to create. And as we know, each chakra looks after a different system of the body, and thus the Sacral Chakra governs the reproductive system. Because basically when we think of our reproductive system, it's about pleasure and creation. So these are physically and energetically tied together. Now, as I said yesterday in the base chakra presentation, when it comes to looking at the energy of chakras, pendulums are really good. And how we're going to use our pendulum is because a lot of the time you'll hear a statement that a chakra is open or closed. Now, energy doesn't open and close, it ebbs and flows. So what we're all going to do together now is we're going to test our Sacral Chakra and see where it's at. So if you've got your pendulum, have your pendulum ready, and we're going to see where your Sacral Chakra is at today. If you don't, maybe you can pull a pendant off or something like that, or just grab something that's dangling. If not, you can do it after the presentation. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to hold our chakra, can't hold your chakra, hold your pendulum in this hand right here. And which is going to be your right or your projective hand, whatever hand you write with. Hey Maria, hope you're feeling better. And throw it, you can either hold it, pinch it, or hold it like that. So then we're going to get it nice and still, and I want you to ask it, show me the energy of a Sacral Chakra. Show me the, no we're not, sorry, I'm getting distracted today. Need to do a bit more base chakra work. First question we're going to ask is, show me the energy of a balanced chakra. Show me the energy of a balanced chakra. Show me the energy of a balanced chakra. And after a while, you'll get a bit of a swing. Now, I don't want you to worry about direction or anything like that. What you're doing here is this is working out on our chakras. If we go on a scale of 1 to 100, that 50 is nice and balanced, 100 is really overactive, 0 is totally underactive. It's going to be somewhere in between. So whatever swinging you're getting on your pendulum right now, that's your 50 point. Because the question we asked was, show me the energy of a balanced chakra. Now, we're going to go again. We're going to put our receptive hand, our left hand for most of us, the hand that you do not write with, onto our Sacral Chakra. And how we locate that is we put our thumb in our belly button, and we just close our hands. Let me show you. So thumb in the belly button, and then just close the hand. And we're going to ask now. Get this nice and still. Show me the energy of my Sacral Chakra. Show me the energy of my Sacral Chakra. Show me the energy of my Sacral Chakra. And after a while, you'll start to get that swing again. Now mine, I have to go back and watch the video, but I'd say I think balance was a little bit more. So I might give myself a 40 out of 100. I might be slightly underactive, and that kind of probably sounds right for my Sacral Chakra. I must admit, the chakra I least resonate with is the sacral one. I'm always avoiding it and all the issues associated with it. So that should give you a bit of an idea now on whereabouts your Sacral Chakra is. So what we're going to look at in the next half hour or so is different crystals and oils that you can use, and healing grids and different things. Excuse me for 1 second. That tickle's going to annoy me. What we're going to use now is we're going to look at different crystals and oils depending on whether you are overactive, underactive, or balanced. Now, I'm also going to show you some really cool healing grids. Now, we're just going to talk about them today, but stay tuned to tomorrow, because tomorrow is a special day. It's Yule, or the winter solstice here in the Southern Hemisphere, and to celebrate, we're going to make a big announcement about a Crystal Healers online course that I'm going to be offering. And I'll be able to go all through this a lot more, in a lot more depth and different things like that. So, let's get on to the Sacral Chakra. As we said before, it's about two things. It's about our ability to enjoy pleasure, and it's about our ability to create. Now, when it's overactive, You can always spot these people here on Facebook. They're the oversharers. What happens is their boundaries are, they form into, because sacral chakra is to do with intimate relationships, and they basically, they overdo it, kind of thing. On Facebook, they're the oversharers. By 10 o'clock, they've already shown you pictures of what they have for breakfast, how their kid ran into a door, how their dog pooed on the couch, and about 18 different things, and things you don't really care about. If you haven't met them on Facebook, then they may pin you in a corner of a party. Before they know your name, they've already told you about how their husband's a jerk, how their boss keeps picking on them, and their kids no longer love them. And then they've showed you this rash on their inner thigh, and you're like, I don't even know who you are. So what happens is, because the sacral chakra governs our ability to form healthy, safe, intimate relationships, then the more that we, if it's overactive, we do that too much. Now, Debbie's just saying that her pendulum barely moved. Could that be because of a stillbirth recently? It could be to do with that. And as I talk about the underactive one, Debbie, what you may find is some of those feelings that we bury down there, things like guilt, could resonate with you. So sit with that and we'll touch and see what happens. Hello, Caro. Thank you very much for your kind comments. Okay. Not getting too distracted. But if you do have questions, please pop them in. That's what I'm here to do as well, answer your questions. So, if your chakra is overactive, what happens is you tend to rely too much on other people for pleasure. You overstep the boundaries of intimate relationships. You go too far. If it's not with people, it may be with other items. It could be with food. It could be with alcohol. It could be with drugs. It could be with television, gaming, exercise, no, it wouldn't be crystals. Anything where you rely on pleasure too much from other people. You demand too much from it. So how are we going to soothe that down? First, let's look at a few crystals that are really, really good. Now, yesterday I talked about red calcite. And red calcite, or any calcite, if you get a nice raw piece of it and you run your hand over it, you'll notice it kind of feels like soap. And what's soap for? Soap, hopefully you know the answer to that, it's for washing. And so let me grab so orange calcite, which is this little one here. This is almost a yellowy one, but you can get orange calcite as well. And this is going to be really good for washing away some of that extra energy. So this would be a really good one to work with, anything to do with that. Now, you may have also heard of selenite. What do we use selenite for? The 101 of selenite is basically, it is used for clearing and cleansing energy. Now, that's white. We're not going to use that on our sacral chakra because our sacral's associated with orange. And so what we're going to use is we're going to use peach selenite. And this is a really, really good one to use. Peach selenite is a really nice one that you can use on that sacral chakra. Again, remove some of that energy. Now, pop quiz. What orange crystal do we see maybe on little kids as you're walking around shopping centres or different things like that? It's around their neck. Amber. Yes, that's right. And this one's one of my favourite bits of amber. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's a little spider in that one. But amber is very soothing and removes extra energy. It's really good for, that's why we use it for teething, also really good for eczema. But also, you may not know, amber, there we go, Tamara and Karen, real good. You got the pop quiz. So amber is really, really good for getting rid of toxic energy. So you know how you walk into a toxic environment or a place just doesn't feel right? Putting bits of amber around can be really, really helpful. So what we're going to do with any of these three is we're going to work with them in all different ways. So meditating with them and seeing that orange sphere of light calming down a little bit more. Wearing it, where would we wear it? Ideally in the pockets. That's going to keep it nice and close to our sacral area as well. Or we're going to talk about healing grids, and I'm going to go through them in just 1 second. So those three, either orange calcite, peach selenite, or amber, you can use for an overactive sacral chakra. If there's too much energy there, if you're overstepping boundaries, if you're a bit too full on, or you're relying on something else outside you for a sense of pleasure. Now, you don't need all three. If you've got all three, that's awesome. But the reason I give you three different options is if you can't find orange calcite, what are you meant to do? You're kind of stranded. So that's why I'm giving you different options. Hopefully, you already have one of those three in your collection. And if not, time to go crystal shopping. Right, now I love to work with essential oils because what I find is when you team a crystal with an essential oil, they work really synergistically, beautifully together. I work with a brand called doTERRA, which is the biggest essential oil company in the world, because for many reasons that I love them, and that's a whole different video. But they grow their plants in the native country, and when they come from the native country, chemically or chemistry-wise, and also spiritually-wise, I find them to be really superior. You're also going to find that this company has a great integrity and does a lot of charity work, and they guarantee that what is in the bottle is 100% plant matter from that plant. In Australia, to label an oil as a pure essential oil, you only need to have anywhere between 3 and 51% actually from that plant. You can still call it pure lemon oil, even if it's not pure lemon oil. So, doTERRA has this amazing oil. Let me find the right one. They've all got orange labels, which doesn't help. Grapefruit. Grapefruit is a great essential oil to really use when you have an overactive sacral chakra. It can really help, especially it helps to do with body issues and feeling good about your body. I call it, the oil of honoring thyself. So it's really renowned for helping the great thing about doTERRA's essential oils is many of them you can ingest, including grapefruit, to start your day with a glass of water and a couple of drops of grapefruit. I don't know why I had to demonstrate putting grapefruit in water then, just in case you weren't sure how to drop oil into it. You can do that. You can also put it in a carrier oil and massage it, especially over areas of cellulite. So on a physical level, it helps to break down and detox, but mentally wise and psychological wise, what we've found is grapefruit essential oil is really good for getting rid of toxic emotions about your body or thought patterns. So if you beat yourself up about your body, if you hate your body, if you say wretched things, maybe that even forms into an eating disorder, anorexia or bulimia or anything like this. This really helps you to honor your body. One question I really like to ask when you're working with grapefruit essential oil is, if you believe in reincarnation and choosing our life and choosing our family and our circumstances and all different things like that, then surely we also chose our body. So if you're disrespecting and not honoring your body, ask yourself, why did I choose this exact body to manifest into this physical plane in this lifetime? And as you do that, meditating with one of the oils, like grapefruit, breathing that in, can really help to bring some revelations and help you to honor that temple, which is a body given to us by the god or the goddess or spirit or whatever you resonate with. So let me give you the first healing grid for tonight. So this is going to be one that you can lay on yourself, or if you're a healer or want to try some healing, then you can try this to help remove energy away from that overactive sacral chakra. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our orange calcite and we're going to put that right on the site. So where is exactly the sacral chakra? It does vary from person to person. Just below the belly button is kind of the generic answer. But basically, let's be honest now, because we're talking about the sacral chakra, we're going to talk about sex tonight. It's basically, hello Lynn and Loza, it's basically the center where you feel aroused. Where is that center that you feel aroused? It's kind of, you'll know that. I shouldn't have to help you too much to find that. And if I do, then we might have to work on an underactive sacral chakra. So we're going to get our orange calcite, we're going to put that right on the spot where you feel aroused. If you're obviously doing that for a client, it's going to be a bit hard to go, can you point to where you feel aroused? Might be a bit awkward, maybe not, but just below the belly button will be fine, or even on the belly button if you're not too sure. What we're going to do around that is we're going to get some small black tourmalines. We're going to put them 1, 2, 3, 4 around that sacral area. What does black tourmaline do? It helps to remove unwanted energy or excess energy. Black stones, especially tourmaline, when we're wearing black and we stand in the sun, it absorbs extra heat or extra energy. It'll help to do the same. So we're going to pop that there and there. That's going to be on our sacral chakra. Selenite is named after Selene, the lunar goddess, and so it's very much to do with the moon and the connection as well. So to bring some of the energy up and kind of out lunar-wise and through the crown, we're going to get our peach selenite and we're going to pop that on the crown. We're also going to get some unakite. Now unakite is actually a stone made out of 2 crystals. You've got orange feldspar and green epidote growing together. And so what happens is this is a really good stone for self-esteem. Green is about growth, orange is about that self-esteem and intimate relationships, so growing, feeling comfortable around other people. And so this is going to be a really nice one, and we're going to put that on the heart. Because if we're seeking approval and pleasure from other things and other people, it's because we don't actually feel worthy ourselves. And so, unakite can actually help with that. So, peach selenite here, unakite here, the orange calcite on the site with the 4 black tourmalines, and we're going to put a piece of amber drawing into the ground, detoxing all of that. So we're going to put that at our feet. Now, as I said before, when I do my online healers course, we'll give you diagrams and photos so you can see exactly what that looks like there. Okay, so that's for our overactive sacral chakra. Now, what happens if we had an underactive sacral chakra? Well, what happens then, and I find this is actually a common problem with many women, especially in Western societies, because the negative emotion that commonly affects our sacral chakra is guilt. And how dare you waste your time watching one of these bloody hippie things where some dickhead here is talking about crystals and oils and different things like that, when you should be going and looking after your family, or you've got jobs to do, all these different things. But maybe you wanted to listen to this presentation. Maybe you thought it was pleasurable. Maybe you're enjoying it. And a lot of the time we stop ourselves from enjoying pleasure because we feel we've got obligations and things to please, or we've got to look after someone else. We've got to put everyone else first and we put ourselves last. That is very much an underactive sacral chakra. Now, I've been doing a bit of research also on underactive sacral chakras as well. And another thing you may hear coming out of people's mouths is, oh, I'm PMSing. And that can often be about an underactive sacral chakra. Now, I'm not an expert on PMSing, so I have a little passage that I'm going to read. I lost the author where I got it from, but I want to read this and you may find this kind of relevant. PMS symptoms are often due to mineral deficiency, but they are also due to an underactive sacral chakra. How many women do you know that are not free to immerse themselves in creativity as they are so busy with work and taking care of the home or their business matters? I just said that. How many women do you know that are not in tune with their ability to be pleased sexually and are ashamed of their sensuality or sexual nature? How many women do you know struggle with issues related to their father or mother that erupts in how they tend to deal with men and women in their day-to-day relationships with friends, a lover, or a spouse? This sacral chakra is tied to our ability to trust the flow of life, to be connected to our emotions, our sensual side, and our creativity. Your PMS symptoms are tied to more than you think. So that was just from another author who was talking about an underactive sacral chakra. I'm so sorry, I've lost her name, so I can't give you sources. I know that's really not good. But interesting, something to contemplate. Another thing you may hear people saying when they have an underactive sacral chakra is, oh, I can't wait for this, I can't wait for this. This again is removing ourselves from the flow of the present, from enjoying the present moment as well. If you are waiting for something else to give you pleasure in the future, then you're not living in the moment and your sacral chakra is underactive. So we're going to fire that up. And how are we going to fire that up? Of course, with some great crystals and some great oils. Now, what is a nice fiery orange crystal? Can anyone type really quickly and think? I'll give you a clue. It starts with C and ends in carnelian. Carnelian. Look at the fieriness of this. Now, this is a type of agate or quartz or chalcedony. It grows in points naturally if you break it down into a microscopic level. And so this is really good for firing fiery orange energy into that sacral chakra. It's a stone of fertility. It's great for the female reproductive system and the male virility. It's great for manifesting anything in your life, not just babies. So if you don't want to be pregnant, you can still work with carnelian. But this is going to be a really 101 nice one to work with. What else can we use? I've got a few different ones. Now, as I said, quartzes grow in points, and so they help to fire energy into a sacral chakra. And this one is called Sunset Aura Quartz. What's happened is they've got this big quartz point. They've put it in a heated vacuum, and they put gold, copper, which I'm going to talk about in a little while, and iron. It heats and gets to a certain heat, and then it actually fuses together. So you've got these beautiful orange energies in here, and you've got that point to kind of point more energy into that area. So this is going to be a really beautiful one to work with if you have an underactive sacral chakra. Right. Next crystal, my best piece is probably in this beautiful pendant, is called zincite. Now, zincite is very, very hard to find naturally. It is found, there's a little mine in New Jersey where it comes from. It does come in different colors, but orange is its most prevalent one. It's also most commonly found in it forms naturally in a man-made environment, and that's in the zinc smelters in Poland. So this is really good again at firing that really sexual, fiery orange energy into that sacral chakra. I still remember many years ago, a friend, for the first time, she held a bit of zincite, or we were working in a crystal shop, and it just came in, so she was playing around with it. She's like, whew, I think I need to go home and see my partner right now. So they're really good for firing up the libido and the sex drive and giving that real vitality, a really, really fiery one. Now, I keep on saying fire, fire, fire. Maybe the reason I'm talking about fire is because there's a couple of other crystals. Sorry if I'm getting a bit too close, but this is fire agate, The light's not going to catch it, but if you catch a really bright light in there, you'll see really nice sparks in there. And this is a fire opal. And these are really, really nice as well to bring, opals are agates are like quartzes and chalcedonies. They've got those points, so they fire energy in. Opals bring that playful energy, so allow us to be a bit more playful as well. Both really protective crystals, so protective. They're nice to pair with another orange crystal to protect that sacral chakra if you feel that you're going, maybe there was an issue with your mother or father, but you're going to go talk to them. This would be really good to protect that sacral area and any guilt that you may start to feel or anything like that as well. The essential oil that works really beautifully with these is orange, and doTERRA does a wild orange. So we get orange essential oils from two different plants. We get it from the sweet orange and the bitter orange. And so the wild orange is from the bitter orange, where we also get neroli, which is orange blossom essential oil as well. But this is one of doTERRA's most amazing blends, or signature blends, because it has real depth in it. And this is where you can really tell the difference between a pure therapeutic grade essential oil and and something that's been artificially created or added to or things like that. You can really smell the real depth in this. And this is really great for getting in there, giving some strength to that sacral chakra and allowing it to shine. I call it the oil of radiant creation. Really helps you feel happy and buoyant about what you're trying to manifest, as well as, allowing creativity to come in. So you can pop some on your hands and inhale it, put it in a diffuser, put it in water, or anyway, just get it in you, or even putting it on some essential, like a carrier oil, like a fractionated coconut oil that doTERRA has, mixing that in and rubbing it on there. And as you rub it in there, hold that crystal there, or even put the crystal in the oil to allow that energy to flow through it for a little while. And then as you do that, think of a sacral chakra affirmation. You can Google them if you can't think of one, but what's the issue there for you? I allow creativity. I feel comfortable with myself. I am sexy, and I know it. Do it with a song. I don't know, rub it in there, and it can, we teach aromatic dressing, but I like to teach aromatic blessing. Blessing that sacral chakra and rubbing your belly and allowing you to feel good about your body can be a really nice thing to do. Would you like a healing grid if you've got an underactive sacral chakra? This is going to be one that gets commonly used. So, what we're going to do with this, again, on the sacral chakra, we're going to put a bit of carnelian. Now, I've got big pieces just to show off and to give you a better idea of what they look like. But if you've got little tumbled stones, they're going to work just fine. About that size will be just fine as well, especially because size doesn't matter when you're putting it on the body, because it's going to have an energy field, you're going to have an energy field, and they're going to interact. So that's going to be fine. So we're going to put that there. We're then going to get either, if you can, 4 orange sunset aura quartzes, or if you can't find 4 or any, clear quartz will be just as good. And we're going to point them in towards the carnelian, which is sitting on the sacral chakra. What's that going to do? Adding energy to that. Then what we're going to do on top of that is we're going to put either fire opal, or where did I put it? Fire agate, because they're quite protective, on the hips. Our hips kind of the entryways into that area, and anyone touching us around that area, kind of near the butt or anything like that, that's where you feel a bit sensitive. Put either 2 of them, or 1 each if you can, depending on what you've got available at the time, will be really good. And then, if there's some other issues, we're going to use a crystal. Now, this is a pink crystal, but it's really good for guilt. Remember I was saying guilt affects our sacral chakra. This is called manganocalcite, a really soft pink calcite. That's going to be really nice, and we're going to put that on the heart, because if there's that bit of guilt, we can pop that there. And if you need to increase the libido a little bit, we're going to have what I call the Bow Chicka Wow Wow Stone Thalite. Let me see if I can get that in the light. It's kind of a pinky, orangey, and veins of red. And it kind of awakens that femme fatale, that Don Juan type of energy. And so that's a really nice one. And we're going to put that as close to your genitals as you feel comfortable, because it really helps to fire up that libido. Because it's about that, enjoying that intimate pleasures that are available to all of us. We incarnate into a body, so let's enjoy it as much as we can. So that, if you need to boost up the libido, would be really good. So we're going to put them all together. So to summarize, carnelian on the sacral chakra, sunset aura quartz points or clear quartz points pointing into that. We're going to put a fire opal or fire agates on either side near the hips or the bum, kind of at the rump, where we kind of feel that where someone touches us and it kind of feels a bit too intimate. There, manganocalcite on the heart, and the phthalate as close to the genitals as possible. So, now we've talked about the overactive sacral chakra and the underactive sacral chakra. What happens if you've got a balanced sacral chakra? It means you're perfect. No, it doesn't. We want to kind of maintain that. Energy is always ebbing and flowing, and life kind of gets thrown at us, and if we're not kind of flexing and changing with that, then we will throw out of balance. So there are great crystals to keep us nice and balanced. Now, we've talked about black tourmaline, but tourmaline comes in all different colours. And so this, I know it's a bit of blue, but this is actually orange here and pink. It's hard to find orange tourmaline, actually. That's one piece. That's another piece there. They're quite dark orange ones. But these, what they do is they move energy backwards and forwards, like the ebb and flow of the ocean. And so what happens is they are really good for keeping that balance backwards and forwards. It will be a bit hard to find. You will have to kind of look around to find orange tourmaline. What I've found, if you're looking, sometimes, pardon me, sometimes shops will sell mixed tourmaline, and if you go for a bit of a scrounge, there'll be all different colours in that tumbled stone bowl. You'll find a little bit of orange in there. Another great crystal to use to keep it nice and balanced, the sacral chakra, is sunstone. Now here's my favourite bit of sunstone. You can see it's got this real glittering in it as it catches the light. Now your tumbled stones may look a little bit different. They're going to be white with kind of orange flecks in it. Both are going to be fine. So we can use that to keep our sacral chakra balanced. Now, what's a good oil for our balanced sacral chakra? There is a beautiful one that doTERRA does. Let me find the bottle, because I want to smell it most of all, and I guess I should show you. This is called Citrus Bliss. This is a combination of a whole bunch of citruses. Many of the citruses are associated with that sacral chakra, that creativity, that abundance, and vanilla, which is very sensual, very sacral as well, and allowing that pleasure into our life. So these mixed together is, I wish I could. If you smell really closely now, can you smell it? Take a big breath in. Maybe you'll get an essence of it. Maybe the psychic people that are clairsentient will. Anyway, but that one works really well for working with the sacral chakra. That one you cannot ingest, but you can anoint it, do that aromatic blessing that we were talking about before, or diffuse it, or put it in your hands and inhale it, or even wear it as a perfume or cologne, and that would be really, really good. Vicky smelt it. She said it was divine. Good on you, Vicky. Okay, so I wanted to give you a few other... let's give you your empowerment grid also if you're going to keep your sacral chakra balanced. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a bit of sunstone, and that's the one we're going to put on our sacral chakra now. What we're then going to put either side of that is a 2 orange tourmaline. So that way, we want that ebb and flow of that energy kind of going through that sacral area. Above and below that, zincite, either side of our sunstone. We're going to put another one that's really good for allowing energy to come in, and it's really good for an underactive sacral chakra, but it really boosts it, is copper, the metal of love. And you're going to pop one of them in each hand. Really good for... Karen's smelling so hard from the UK. See, if Karen can smell it in the UK, you watching in Australia should have been able to smell that. I get so distracted, sorry. Okay, here is copper. We're going to put that in each hand. And then we're going to get some imperial topaz, this beautiful orange crystal. We're going to pop that at the crown, and halfway through, so say you're doing this grid and you're laying there for you or someone else, we're doing it for 10 minutes. What we're going to do halfway through is, where have I got it? Orange garnet. Now you may be used to red garnets, but garnets come in various colours. And orange is really good, or garnets are really good for building on the work that you've already got. So as we start to balance that, as we want to keep that, as we want to evolve that deeper, we're going to actually put some orange garnet next to the carnelian. So let me go over that to make sure that you've got that clear. Carnelian on the sacral chakra. Either side of that, the orange tourmaline. Either side of that, we can put the zinkites. We're going to put in each hand, a copper in each hand, an imperial topaz at the head, and adding the orange garnet halfway through that actual time that you're putting it on there. So some of the crystals I've been talking about are going to be very difficult to find. So improvise, leave them out, work towards that, and as your crystal work evolves, you'll find these crystals will pop up. You may be hunting, don't hunt too too desperately for any of them, but you may find that suddenly orange garnet appears in a shop one day. Then that's when you're ready to work with it. Or zincite, you'll have the money or you'll find a piece that's affordable at a certain time. So that would be a really good time to kind of add that to the grid. I wanted to talk also about some other crystals that may be really good for working with the sacral chakra as well, just especially for bringing up the issues and different things like that. So we have a crystal called cuprite, and this is cuprite here, the orange one, and this is really, really powerful at helping to do with any issues to do with your father. Now, because our sense of intimacy is established at a very young age, our love and our trust. If there's anything wrong with the relationship with your mother and father, and this could just be, maybe your father, like my father, was very much kept to himself, bit of an introvert. Sorry, that's my Ava wants to say hello. Say hello, Ava. She's not impressed, but she hears me talking to myself and thinks I'm talking to her. So she's going to sit on my lap. So my father was kept to himself, so I didn't really have much of a relationship with my father. He loved me, I loved him. There's nothing wrong, he wasn't nasty or anything like that, but he just did his thing and I did my thing. We didn't have much in common. But this can affect our ability to feel comfortable around people of that gender. And I must admit that, comfortable around men, especially straight men, is something I'm not the best at. But cuprite can really help to deal with that, as well as pneumite, but cuprite is really nice because of that orange and that sacral chakra. So if you think that any issues to do with your sacral chakra could be to do with a man, possibly your father or any other men in your life, this would be a really, really nice one. Just out of curiosity, what this is here is chrysocolla, and they grow together. This is called Sonora Sunrise. Beautiful crystal. So you've got something that helps you deal with your father issues and something that helps you deal with your mother issues. Mother Nature's darn good like that. But if you want an orange crystal that's really good for dealing with any issues you may have with your mother issues or women is... Oh, Vicky, I think you're talking about that one. That one's cuprite. Cuprite. If you're talking about my cat, that's Ava, because it's Adam and Eve, or Adam and Ava. This is peach moonstone, and this is really nice, again, for connecting to that divine feminine, and really dealing with any female issues you have with your divine feminine. And as we're talking about these, I'm talking to both genders. Regardless of your gender, we both need to balance our masculine and feminine and how we feel about those people outside of us, and also within us. Oh, I have the itchiest nose. Of course I do, because I'm on camera. Sorted. So what we want to do is we want to feel comfortable with both men in our life and women in our life, because if you don't, that would also be mirroring how you actually feel about your masculinity or your femininity. So that's going to be a really nice one to work with as well. So there are some other oils that are available through doTERRA that are really great to work with when you're working with the sacral chakra. One of my favourites that I found to be really effective to help women, I haven't used it so much myself, is one called Claricalm. And this is kind of the hormonal balance one. It supports clary sage. Oh, no, sorry. Clary sage really supports a woman all through her life. From a girl getting her first periods and cramps, through a mother trying to relieve some pain when she's giving birth, to hot flushes of a woman going through menopause in her later life. And this is really good for all those pains, all those cramps. You definitely don't want this when you are pregnant because it induces birth, or can. But I have a friend, my experience with this from last week is she's been going through menopause, she's had some other health concerns, and she's been getting really severe hot flushes. So she's been actually wearing this as her perfume instead of wearing perfume, which affects our hormone levels. Not good to be wearing perfume. Switch to essential oils, whole different story. Or message me if you want to know more. And this, she would rub it into her hands. It comes in a roller. And she would smell it. And that, she said it actually, her rate and her intensity of her hot flushes was really, really helping. And there's Tegan saying she's had some great experience with Claricalm as well. Very, very quickly, because I don't want to go on for too long, because I have a workshop at my house tonight. If you're in Perth and want to learn about how to get better night's sleep, come to my house in Guildford at 7 o'clock. Send me a message. They have Zendocrine, which has got some really good detoxing things in it. And where is it? Slim and Sassy, which helps to, or Smart and Sassy, which helps to boost the metabolic rate. And so when we're looking at losing weight, because our body, often we use our body to protect ourselves from the world and issues that come from intimacy, our weight can be related to that. these can be really good. I'm actually drinking the Detox Zendocrine today. I've been away for a couple of weeks, and when you're traveling, it's really hard to eat properly, and I've eaten probably not as good as I would like to. Craved a salad today, had a salad today. Not that you care what I had for lunch. Maybe my sacral chakra's become overactive, and I'm oversharing. Okay, some other ones that you can get as well, very, very quickly. doTERRA has, they like to just keep it spicy and keep it spiced up, because that's what we need to do to keep that sacral chakra going. So doTERRA plays with our sacral chakra by giving us some other essential oils occasionally. The most divine one is jasmine, and jasmine is really good for the sacral chakra. Now, if you smell this is a really good way of working out how your sacral chakra is. If it's overpowering, that would suggest you're out of balance in that way. Jasmine is a really nice to add to any of the citruses and to really make a nice citrus one. And also get mandarin. My mandarin bottle at the moment, I lent it to a friend to work with. So that is really good. It brings a youthful spirit. And that, this chakra about allowing pleasure into our life and being a bit more playful and childlike, mandarin helps us to be that. So I call that the oil of the youthful spirit. So if you're a bit too serious, you're not allowed, I can't be silly and I can't have fun and I can't enjoy sex and all those different things. This is very serious. Even, sometimes people, when they're trying to fall pregnant, sex becomes this job we must do rather than being pleasurable. Mandarin would be really good for that. Tangerine is a really nice one that you can get occasionally from doTERRA as well. And tangerine here, I call the oil of joyous discovery. It helps you feel a bit more exploratory and to go out and discover the world and have fun doing that. And the last one, which is a bit of a prosperity one, allows you to create. Now, when we're talking about creation, that is about babies, that's about manifesting your own creativity or bringing anything into your life. And kumquat. Now, a little bit of fun, since we're talking about having fun and being playful, try saying kumquat really fast 10 times. Kumquat, kumquat, kumquat. No, that was 3. My best is 8. Give it a shot. At home. Something to make that foreplay tonight. See how your sex goes. Now, I also like to work with animal guides. So let's talk really quickly about animal guides and 2 animal guides or animal totems or animal medicine that we can follow when we're working with the sacral chakra. The first one is otter. Otter, of course, I'm sure you've seen them at the zoo or seen documentaries of them, always playing. They encourage us to play in life, and so very much is the sacral chakra as well. So call upon otter. The other one is rabbit. And rabbit is very much to do with creativity and fertility. Again, an issue or what is the sacral chakra governs. Now, one little lesson of rabbit as well is, this is my carnelian rabbit. He's called Flopsy. I don't know, he's never been called that before until just now. I think I've had too many citrus oils in one day. Anyway, rabbit teaches us, you hear, breeds like a rabbit, or a rabbit overpopulates a field or an ecosystem or anything like that. What happens is rabbit, its cycle is very much in about 28 days, the same as a lunar cycle. And so what happens is rabbit teaches us, in order to create the world, or to be creative or to make goals, work with the moon. We don't achieve everything by looking always at the big picture. Sometimes we need to set it down to little goals. What can I do in the next lunar cycle? So like rabbit does, it breeds in the lunar cycle, then breeds again in the next lunar cycle. So if you want to become a world-class singer, maybe what you can do is, what is my goal in the next 28 days? To find the perfect singing teacher. What am I going to do in the next lunar cycle? I'm going to make sure I can do those scales perfectly. What am I going to do in the next lunar cycle? I'm going to sing that song. I'm then going to go to the competition, and so on and so on. And before you know it, you're that world-class singer. And I want credit, because I taught you how to do it with rabbit. So working with these animals can be really good with working with the sacral chakra and the crystals and the oils. How do we tie that all in together? Close your eyes, hold one of the crystals, visualize that orange sphere of light around that area, smell those oils, inhale them, and see yourself in a nature place and invite otter or rabbit or both to come in and talk to you. And just like you'd interact with a guide or an angel, see what they have to say to you. You never know how they'll communicate with you. Just allow and let that be. Other things you can do to help balance the sacral chakra: eating orange foods, oranges, citruses, anything that's orange is really good. Listening to music in the key of D is really good. As well as you can Google, there's some great yoga poses which are really great for the sacral chakra as well as surrounding yourself in the colour orange. So, I wanted to let you know very quickly as well, because you've watched today and because I love you so much, I wanted to give you some specials. So what I've got, I'm going to post them in the comment section under this live and also on the event page, which if you haven't joined that yet, join that, because that'll keep you updated on all my 7 lives I do throughout the week. The first one, if you want to get some Claricalm is $41. But if you become a doTERRA member and I can help you become a doTERRA member, just shoot me an email or just PM me and we can get you a member. You can get that for $30.75. So that's 25% off. This one is a godsend. There's so many people that love this one. Now, if you want to get your Sacral Chakra Balancing Pack, which is a wild orange, a grapefruit, and a citrus bliss. So you've got grapefruit for your overactive, wild orange for your underactive, and citrus bliss for your balance. So you can use either one. $73 for that, and I'll put my website details on where you can get that. But I'd rather you get the member's price of $54.75. So become a member, and I can get you that for that cheaper price as well. Now, if you want to really get started on something really basic with the Sacral Chakra, I'm going to be selling for $10 one little carnelian like this, and 4 clear quartzes for $10. And you can just comment under the comment where I put the little special up and grab that way as well. So those are my little specials for the Sacral Chakra. If you become a member today, I will also give you my Sacral Chakra Roller Blend. I'll make one up for you and send it with a bit of love and different things like that. And that's how I'm going to finish off today. I want to finish off with my Sacral Chakra Blend. Now basically this is quite a simple one. What you're going to do is you're going to do equal parts of orange, grapefruit, and sandalwood. What? Sandalwood. Why are we going to use sandalwood? We use sandalwood because it's not a Sacral Chakra one, but it is very much to do with our sexuality as well. In fact, chemically wise, sandalwood is very similar to a male pheromone that is emitted and used to attract others. So, putting that in there really helps to bring that sexuality into there. Now, you may be listening to me as I speak and go, well, I'm listening about the Sacral Chakra and this whole sex stuff. I don't really want to deal with that. Why don't we want to deal with that? I want you to dig a little bit deeper. It doesn't mean that you have to change exactly who you are, but you're feeling comfortable with your sexuality and your ability to create because they're very much linked in with each other. So equal parts of that, grapefruit, sandalwood, and wild orange or orange will be really nice. You can put it in a roller with a fractionated coconut oil and then roll it on your wrists as a perfume or on your Sacral Chakra would be really good, or when you're doing healings, or you can pop that in a diffuser as well with water, and that's a really nice thing to do. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the second of the 7th of the 7 chakras in 7 days. I'm doing exactly the same for the next 5 days, and we're going to go through the chakras, and I'm going to have some specials for you each day. You'll notice on Crystal Connections events, I've actually created an event for this. Say that you're going to the event and then you'll get all the notifications and you won't miss out on any. And if you can't watch me every night at this time, don't despair, because what we can do is we can basically have, you can watch the live afterwards and this video will come back up. Thank you so much. Pride flag, love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Enjoy the longest night of the Southern Hemisphere. Tonight is Yule, and I'll have some information on Crystal Connections about that as well as some little blends for that. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Blessings.